Hey, how's everybody? How are you?
I'm not ready.
You're not ready. I told you that was what the music's for, is to get ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
all right.
I started doing something else. You know how
You?
that goes.
I do know
Yeah.
how that goes. Somehow.
All right. Here we
All
go.
right. You
There.
you think so? Okay.
What does this button do? We're
Okay.
always figuring it out.
And we're still not sure. But we'll get there. This is episode number 262, and it's a hodgepodge of tech tips with us Geeks on Tour. Okay, it's an educational show about smartphones and technology. And we always start off with a tip. Is that what we're going to do?
We are.
Okay,
We
but
are.
first I want to remind you that if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that bell so that you'll be reminded when we go live and that kind of stuff. That's really helps us out. Okay, a quick tip, Chris.
The quick tip today is about removing the background from photos. It seems it's a really hot topic these days, and there are so many different ways of doing it. And there's a lot of good ways, but did you know that you don't need anything besides the phone that took the picture in order to remove the background, as long as your phone is an iPhone or a Samsung? So let me show you what I mean.
Okay.
On the iPhone, now Google Photos can't do this. You know me, I like to promote all the stuff that Google Photos can do. This is something that Google Photos can't do. But if you have an iPhone, you also have the Apple Photos. So I'll open up Apple Photos and I'll find a picture that I want to grab the subject of it and remove the background. Watch this. All you do is lightly touch on the subject and notice how it's just Jim is now attached to my finger. Now people say, but I can't do that because when I touch and hold, it's a live photo and it plays. Well, this is a live photo, so it just takes a special touch in the right place. I mean, if I just touch and hold out in the background, then the motion, the live part plays. But if I touch and hold on him very lightly, and then keep holding, it will pick him up. All right, so now what do you do with him? You can you can copy
Now that you
him.
have him firmly in hand.
You can copy him. I don't know if I could deal with two of him. I don't know. So I can copy, and that will copy just the selection, which is the person, the foreground. And I could go to an email, for example, and compose a new email, and in the body, long press and paste. So there is the image of Jim without the background in whatever place I want, a email or a text message, something like that. And the other thing you can do is to save. So in addition to this original picture with the background, if I touch and hold and get him, I can tap share, and then if you scroll down, save image. So now that image of just Jim without the background is in the camera roll, and because I have Google Photos installed on this iPhone, it will pick up the whatever photos are in the camera roll in a minute. Well, maybe put it back right where the photo was.
Right next to it.
I don't know. It should be there at the top, but
Uh-oh.
really, what is it that when you go live, something doesn't work?
We're live.
Well,
It worked earlier.
yeah, there he is from when I did it before. You do just save, but now I want to show you on my Samsung phone. I did not know this until this morning. I was just playing around saying, ooh, I think I want to show how you can remove background using the iPhone Apple Photos. And it is just so cool. And it's been around for a while. But I just gave it a shot on the Samsung and it worked. Now, once again, I am not talking about Google Photos. Google Photos can't do this. I'm talking about Samsung Gallery. I open Gallery. It also doesn't have to be a person. And it doesn't have to be a person on the iPhone either. It can be a flower. So I touch and hold. And it's now just the flower is attached to my finger. I let go and I get 3 choices. Copy, share, or save as image. Once again, I can copy. Then I can go to email and compose a new email and long press and paste. Paste. There we go. So now there is that flower, just the flower, no background, pasted into my email. And let's see if I can get this to work on this one. Long press on the flower and save as image. Image saved. So now it is in my Samsung Gallery, but it should also be in my Google Photos. Well,
It'll get there.
it will get there. I promise. Because I did do this. There we go. Okay, so it just took a minute. And
You're just not patient enough. I've said this about you.
okay, and back to the iPhone. Yes, there is the photo in Google Photos that is just the flower. So it took a minute. Okay, so that is remove background with no special software. Amazing, I think.
That doesn't work on mine, though.
No, Pixel, because Pixel is Google Photos.
Right.
Right?
Right. Absolutely. So, do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone or your Android device or the cloud? And how do you learn about the amazing devices and things we have going?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads, thus the silly hats. But we are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So we came up with this show where we pick a topic each time and go into a little bit of depth. Or as we're doing today, we just throw a bunch of tips about using smartphones.
And we find that you like it. So
Yeah, our HodgePodges are some of our more popular episodes we have found.
yeah.
And all of our content is collected on our website, geeksontour.com. You can find it all there. Some of it is for members only. A lot of it is free.
And we'll talk about members in a little bit. But where are we now?
We're home in South Florida, and we actually took the RV down to the beach this week.
Yeah, it was a beautiful evening. It was supposed to be the super moon rising. And, well, it was there. So Chris got a couple of shots of it. It's really nice.
And it's supposed to happen again this month, which makes it a
blue moon.
A blue moon,
Once
yeah.
in a blue moon. So we'll have that happen.
So maybe we'll go down to the beach again.
Okay, we like the beach. Saying hello to some of our online members here. And Jolin, Linda, Detlef, guten Abend. Berlin is rainy evening in the 60s, as well as a rainy afternoon here in South Florida. And
In the 90s.
In the 90s. Yeah. Okay, Richard and George. Let's see. There he is. And Kathleen in New York City. Getting
Hi,
some
Kathleen.
reasonable temperatures. Good. It's still pretty warm
Good.
up there. Jolin's reminding us about her our techniculties, but she said technicuties. I thought that was
Technicuties.
Ron says it works great on his Samsung S22.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks for the confirmation.
Okay, very cool. And let's get on with it.
Okay.
Thank you to our premium members. You premium members, the ones who actually pay some money to Geeks on Tour. You make this work possible. Thank you so much. And it's $58 a year recurring, or $68 for 1 year. No obligation, money guaranteed, all that stuff. Go on. Backstage Pass. Right after this, one of the benefits of premium membership is that we have a Zoom meeting right after this. We join in with our members, premium members, and you can ask us anything. It's a great way to stay in touch with us, and we have a community. It's a lot of fun.
We usually have fun, yeah.
Yeah.
So today,
okay, here we go.
HodgePodge. These are the things I came up with to throw at you today. How to make a map. How to hang up the phone when it's not obvious. How to stop videos. Walking directions with augmented reality in Google Maps. Jim's going to show you his cool new toy, a small car charging battery. Screenshots on Pixel. Street View with directions. FaceTime for Android. Fixing Google Photos face group errors. So we're definitely going to cover those 9. And then if we have time, we will also cover searching Google Calendar, how to find what charges were made on your Apple Pay or your Google Pay, and what is the Google Maps timeline. And if we don't have time for those, we will cover them for our members in the Backstage Pass. First, making a map. We did a whole episode on this, episode number 176. So you can either on our YouTube channel look at the podcast called What Does This Button Do? Every episode is listed there. Go back and find 176. Or on our website under YouTube show, all 262 of them now are listed there, and you can watch it. But a lot of people have asked me how I made this particular map. This map is in our photo album, our Google Photos photo album from our recent trip to Indonesia. And a lot of people said, how did you make that? So I want to show you. And I use Google My Maps. How do you get there? You go to My Maps, mymaps.google.com. This is something that you need to do on a computer. Once you have it done, there is a way to see it in your Google Maps app on your phone. But to create it, you got to do it on a web browser. So I'm going to create a new map. And all maps that you have created get collected there as well, as long as you're signed in with your Google account. This is one of the free services offered by Google, is to make your own map on top of Google Maps. I mean, Google Maps is still there. All the information is there, but you get to put your own spin on it. So I'm going to title this map first, and I'll call it Indonesia Flight. And save that. And now I need to see the whole world, basically. So I just use the scroll wheel to zoom out. And I want to draw a line. We left from Miami. We had a layover in Istanbul, and then we continued on to Manado in Indonesia. And I want to draw a line. So that's this tool right here to draw a line. I don't think a driving route would work.
No.
Definitely not a biking route and not a walking route. So I'm just going to draw a line to represent where our flight went. I click in near Miami. I go over to Turkey and I click near where I think Istanbul is. And then I go over to Indonesia, and Manado is about right there. Now you double click at the end. When you're finished, you can make several points. This can keep on going and keep on going. When you're done, you double click. And for that line, I will call it Flight from Miami to Monado, and save. Now a lot of people have asked, how did I make it curved like that? I didn't. It's just because the line actually traverses the curvature of the earth. I mean, if you notice, if I make just a little line, I add a line and I just drag over here, it's straight. But the further I go around the world, the more curved it gets. So that's how that worked, and I can just delete that. All right, so that is my map, and I do not have to save the whole map. The way Google works, it's being saved for me automatically. If I now want this to be a picture for use in a photo album, I need to take a screenshot. And lots of different ways to do that. I like to use Snagit. So yeah, I can go to Snagit and capture and drag and capture that screenshot, and then I can put in Miami to Monado, 48 hours, I think it was.
It was a long time.
48 hours, and make that lots bigger. All right. Then I just have to save it and upload it to Google Photos. And that is now the map that I have in my Google Photos album. So that's our first HodgePodge tip. Making a map using Google My Maps. And there's so much more you can do. We also did an entire episode of What Does This Button Do? On making maps, and that was episode 176.
And you can find that on our website at geeksontour.com.
Yep.
Remember questions. I only saw one question from Jolin. Do you know if it'll work in the camera roll? That was the moving the thing on a Samsung Galaxy Tab S tablet.
I don't know. If the Galaxy Tab uses the same gallery app, then yeah, I think it should. I mean, on the iPhone side, it certainly works on the iPad.
Go get it and try.
Yeah, let us know.
If it has the latest version, I would expect it to work.
No, but this member questions is somebody asked us this before the show, and I decided to go ahead and put it as one of our hodgepodge of tips during the show. She wrote in and said, often when I'm talking with someone, I might go to contacts or other places on the phone, and then when ready to hang up, my red hang up button has disappeared. Where is it? How do I hang up the phone? Stop this call. Well, we did a video not precisely answering that question, but that it does do it with video 816. Let's play that.
Okay.
Now to demonstrate the home button, I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to call Jim. I have this handy little shortcut here to call Jim.
I think I'll ignore this. We're in the phone here.
And now we're talking, and he says,
hello?
What's on our calendar for next Wednesday?
What's on our calendar for next Wednesday?
And so what do? Well, first of all, the calendar is on the phone. So no, you don't have to hang up and say, I'll look and I'll call you back.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah, right. First of all, I need to be able to take it away from my ear. So I'll put it on speaker. And now the call is still going on. And I can tap on the home button and go to my calendar. I can look up whatever needed to be looked up. And then you go to your recent apps, and I can go back to the phone. Now, yes, I know I could have also gone back to the phone with this little green button at the top. I like the recent apps. All right. So now I can hang up. So that's home and recent apps. So my answer is, if you don't see the red hang up button, number one, it might be just very, very tiny and up at the top of your screen. But number two, you can always use your recent apps, sometimes called multitasking, and find the whole screen for the phone. So the skill that you need to have is how to get your recent apps. On the newer iPhones, it's very different. So on the newer iPhones, you have to swipe up from the bottom and then drop off when you're in the middle. And these are your recent apps. And if a phone call is going on, one of these apps will be the phone. You can tap on it and then tap hang up. On the older iPhones, you double press the home button to get there. And as shown in the video, on most Androids, you have a recent apps button down at the bottom that will show all those. So I think you're watching here, right, Tovas? Let us know if that answered the question. And there was one more. So the second one was how to stop videos. Jane, stop this crazy thing. Shut up. You started playing a video and now you're done watching the video. How do you get it? And we do have another tutorial on that, 738, but I'm gonna demo this one instead. So this is, once again, my iPhone, and I'm going to look for YouTube and just play any video. I don't care. I'm going to start playing that video.
Look at that. I love her.
So that's great. So I'm watching this video and I say, okay, I need to check my email or whatever, and I'll swipe up and go somewhere else.
And it stopped playing.
And it stopped playing, and it didn't do that when I... Okay, I go home, and she's still talking. The video is still playing in the background when I did it that way. And I'm looking at my email. Now I'm getting really irritated with her. I want her to shut up. Once again, I use the multitasking. Up to the middle, and I can just swipe her off. That's the quick and dirty way. Now, the real way is to open the video back up again and then tell it to stop, pause. But I am forever force quitting apps. Whenever an app's doing something I don't like, I just don't ask any questions. I go in and I force quit. Multitasking and swipe it off. Force quit.
Tove says thank you.
Oh, good. This is a fun one.
Okay.
Google Maps. If you are using Google Maps for walking directions, if you've ever used walking directions in the past, you might have found it difficult. It's hard to tell exactly which way it's telling you to walk. See, when you're in a car, you're actually traveling, and Google Maps sees your direction of travel, and it's easy for it to tell you, okay, coming up is a right turn. But if you're standing on a sidewalk, and just taking a step here and there, it's hard to tell if the turn is behind you or in front of you. This is cool. Augmented reality. Video 5. Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks On Tour, and this little video is about a new feature in Google Maps which gives us augmented reality when using walking directions. Take a look. Here's Google Maps. I've entered my destination and I've selected walking as my travel mode. The blue dot is me, and as I turn, the blue light indicates the way I'm facing. That helps me know which direction to go, but watch this. When I tap on Live View and lift the phone, it sees my real-time surroundings, and using augmented reality, it places these big blue arrows right on the screen to let me know which way to walk. This is just so cool. It tells me it's not safe to keep the phone up in front of my face the whole time. Put it down, and it goes back to regular navigating view. But anytime I need more help, I just lift up the phone, it sees my surroundings, figures it out, and puts the augmented reality right in front of my face, like a heads-up display. And we've used that.
Oh, yeah. And we will use it in the future because it's getting better all the time. So we've used it in New York City and in London and in certain places.
Rome. Oh, was it useful in Rome?
We loved it.
One caveat, you do need a data connection, an internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a foreign country, you either need to have a local SIM card or be using Google Fi like we did, which works in foreign countries, so that you have a cellular connection as you are walking around town.
But it is very much a cool thing.
Yeah. Okay. This
This is
his.
mine. Okay. So it's Jumpstart, not battery charger. That's the, yeah. So it's jump starting with a battery that you have in your hand, and this is what I got here. This is the jump starter battery. It charges with a USB charging port. The old ones used to either need a 12 volt or a 110. Everyone has C port chargers now, so it works. And these are the charging cables. You just put those on there, you plug them in, you turn it on, and give it a couple of seconds.
And let me pick it up.
It starts the van.
Wow. I expected it to be heavier. I mean, I knew it wasn't too big.
Well, it's heavy, but it's not too heavy.
No.
So
that's not too heavy at all.
No, and it really does a nice job. I've used it on our van. Our camper van sits in the parking lot for far too long sometimes, and I don't get out there and get it started or drive it around. And so the battery will go low because of the phantom loads that are on every car. So just carry one of these around. We used to have the ones that, I mean, we've tried other ones and they work. So, but this one is good, and it's on our Amazon store on our website, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. And what I think it's $100.
It was less than that.
Right at or under $100. And I know this has nothing to do with smartphones or the web, but it is technology and for travelers, and it is just
so many other things.
Cool.
Yeah. Another thing, did you put that in there?
I didn't, but go ahead. Yeah, those are cool too.
Yeah. One of the other things that you have here, I have in my house, are these lights that are LEDs, and they stick up. They're very thin, and they're motion detection, so, or always on, day, night, whatever. But if somebody comes close in there, they will be able to, and they come in different sizes. So this little one here would be great as a night light when we're traveling, because it will only go on when it's motion detected. So you get up out of bed at night. Magnets on the back, they'll stick up to a magnet, any kind of ferrous metal. So like on a cruise ship, all those cruise ships are metal sides. Or they give you these little adhesive pads.
It really is cool. I mean, out in the RV,
they're in all of the cabinets.
You leave the battery off while we're just parked here, so
you want a light.
I want to go in and see if there's something in the closet in the RV that I need. I open the door, this light pops on.
And yeah, you can, it's great. Anyway, get one.
Good toys.
Those are on our website too. You can get those at Amazon. I've noticed, though, that if you really want to get a great deal, does anybody use Temu? TEMU? Anyway, you see those on there. Go ahead. Where are we?
Okay.
We're next.
So that was a...
Jumpstart your car. Keep it in your car. You might help a friend just by having it there. And it's so handy to recharge.
And it really is not very heavy. I mean, you could keep it in your backpack and always have it for if anybody needs it.
Right. It also, because it's a battery, you can plug, it has USB ports so you can charge your phone with it, and you just keep it charged and it's handy. Go ahead.
All right.
Your turn.
But it's still your phone.
Oh.
I want to show them how you take a screenshot on a Pixel phone.
Okay.
Because it's different than any of the other ones, and it is so cool. So first, I need to get something on the screen that I want to take a picture of. Let's go to what? Where's Google stuff and maps? Here. How about NPR? I don't know if there's any reason that I want to.
I do this to keep her away from my phone. I don't want her to know where things are.
All right. All you have to do to take a screenshot on a Pixel is, here we're using the multitasking button again.
Yeah.
We should have called this a multitasking show. Or also called recent apps. So on a Pixel, the recent apps is the square button down here in the bottom. And here are all the apps that are open. And there we go. I want to take a picture of this Aura screen. All you do is tap screenshot down here. And it's done. And then you can even mark it up if you want. I can put, healthy.
Should be a good day.
Yeah, so save, and now that is a picture in the camera roll. Now the same method that works with every other phone also works with this, the power and the down volume, but I love that. Just multitasking, find the screen that you want to capture, tap screenshot. Easy, easy, easy.
Okay.
And if you have questions about screenshots on any other device, we did a whole other episode.
Episode 232.
That talked about screenshots on every device, including Macs, which we normally do not cover, but
I do have a Mac.
We did that, yes.
Questions? I don't see any in the chat here.
Okay.
If you do have any questions, please put them in the chat. I will check it. I normally have a crawl going across there. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. What's next? Street view with directions. You can see exactly where you're going because of Google Maps. They have actually photographic representation of every place on the planet where there's a public street, and you can see exactly where you're going. Very handy if you're just not really sure about your destination.
And we're going to do a quick tip here. using Google Maps for directions and seeing street view of your destination.
Well, this episode is all about Google Maps' special features of Street View and Timeline. So I'm going to start with a tip of a way that we have used Street View as in a real practical manner. I'm going to show it to you on the phone. This would also work on the computer, but what I'm saying is, let's say you get directions. You select a destination, you get directions, and then you want to see photographic representation of your destination. Make sure you're going to the right place. And you would normally be doing that on a phone. So I am going to show you on my phone.
The Android?
The Android.
Okay.
But this works just the same on an iPhone as well. So you go into Google Maps, and let's say that I just have an address. So we were supposed to meet some people for dinner last night, and we got this address, and I search for it. I put in 8871 Lake Worth Road, and then get directions. And let's say I look at these directions and say, well, that doesn't look quite right. I thought that this restaurant was closer to their house, and for their house, we take a right on Lake Worth Boulevard there. So I want to look at the address and see what's there. What you do is you tap on steps. And each step along the way where it's available, you get a street view. So each turn you can. I'm not sure why you would want to look at each turn, but at the end is the destination. And I can look at the street view of that destination and look all around, and I do not see a restaurant. I say there must be something wrong. I must have written this address down wrong. So I go back to my original notes, and sure enough, I was dyslexic, and it was not 8871. It was 7781. So
I would never do that.
Yeah, 7781. And now I can look at the steps, look at the final destination, and do it full screen. And that looks better.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like a restaurant. And this little bubble right here indicates that it is a bar restaurant. Brass Monkey Sparks Bar and Grill. Yeah, that's where we went. So that's my quick tip. Street view along with directions.
Okay.
There's so many cool things that these phones do, but we try to focus on practical tips, and this one really helps. This was a practical solution to an issue that we did have. Okay, so Street View with directions, and there's lots more about Street View if you want to learn more about Street View in episode 221. How to include an Android user in a FaceTime call. What?
This sounds dangerous. This really sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it does actually. Well, here, there's your phone back. Okay. And what kind of phone is that?
This is what is this? Pixel 7 Pro.
So that is definitely not an Apple phone.
Definitely not an Apple phone. It
definitely
is
not an Apple phone.
Google Pixel.
It is a Google phone, right?
Running Android, the latest version.
So FaceTime is any of you who have iPhones, I'll betcha you have used FaceTime. FaceTime is very popular video calling, and they have, I don't know when it started. It used to be you had to have an Apple phone, period, and you could not participate in a FaceTime call. Now, you do have to have an iPhone to start it, but you can include Androids, and by creating a link, and you send the link to someone with an Android phone in email, text, or you could even post the link in some group. They can then click the link and join the call. Now, every time somebody tries to join the call, you do have to approve it. So people can't
jump in on a Zoom bomb.
Zoom bomb. They can't bomb you. FaceTime bomb.
Face bomb.
All right.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
So here is my iPhone.
Okay.
And here is FaceTime. Now, instead of tapping New FaceTime, that will ask me for a contact person who is on an Apple phone, and it will call them and set up a FaceTime call. No, instead of that, I'm going to create link. And then I'm going to copy that link and go to Gmail, because that's my preferred method of communication, and send to Jim and FaceTime. Here's the link. And I long press and paste. So with that link, I send it to him. He can click that link and join my FaceTime call. So, Jim, you can look at your email now.
Okay, it just came in. And so I just have a link for the FaceTime call right here, there, anywhere. I'll tap on that. It asks me to put in my name that I want to use, Mr. Geek. And it didn't spell geek right. Or I didn't spell geek right. I never learned how. Continue. And it puts a picture of me up. Ugh. Yeah, maybe if I look up a little bit more, that'll look okay. And join.
There's a green button that says join. So he clicked the link. It started accessing the FaceTime, and he clicked join. Now back on my phone, I am the one that has created this. I should be getting a notification.
We're using a lot of our bandwidth here.
Yeah.
So it could take a little bit of time.
I should be getting a notification that somebody has joined my FaceTime.
I do have a message that it's waiting to be let in. I'm waiting to be let in.
Okay. So it'll pop up here in a minute.
Elizabeth says I use Google Duo on my Android.
Yeah.
And can FaceTime. Well, it's not really FaceTime. It's using Duo. So
it's the same thing. It is a video teleconference call. Come on.
Okay, where was that message from? I need to put that back in there. So
and I have to now. Obviously, we don't really use this much because we are now one. Oh, okay. Here I go. It says one person waiting. So if I tap where one person is waiting, and me geek wants to join, I will say okay.
Auto correct. You were supposed to turn that.
Okay.
You were supposed to turn that down.
So we are now connected. You can't there you can see me. And this is using FaceTime. So that's it. I mean, there's lots more to know, I'm sure, about FaceTime.
And we don't use this, so it's just something to play with.
Yeah,
to show you, because you might have somebody that only uses Apple FaceTime, and you're on a Android.
There, you really can't see. I'm trying to show my face in
no,
here
you can't
too.
do that. I
But
turned
there.
there.
So you see my face and he's behind.
Yeah.
We are on a FaceTime video call.
In the
I'm on
same
an
room,
iPhone.
that's really not what you're supposed to do.
Okay, I will hang up. There we go.
Thank you.
And now the cool thing, though, I think, yeah, as long as I don't delete that link from FaceTime, you can use it anytime to join. I don't have to create a new link and send it to him every time. It's there. He can reuse that same link and we can always get on. Kind of like Zoom calls. If you all are familiar with Zoom calls, you can have a Zoom meeting that you can just keep connecting to.
Pretty cool.
So I think that's pretty cool, because there are families who have, split up because some have iPhones and they want to FaceTime and the others have Android and they can't FaceTime. Yes, they can.
If they really want to.
Okay.
Let's see.
Some
Judy
questions?
says she tried the jump starter, but reaching the terminals was a problem. Yeah, that can be. There might be terminals that are external to the actual battery itself. One of my sets of the jump starter cables that I had in the past did have trouble with the side terminals that I have on my van. The Honda has top terminals. It's not a problem, but the side terminals were a little bit of a problem with, but these, the ones that connect to this particular battery, works really well and have good connections. But I know what you're talking about. And where's the multitasking button? Did you get? You asked her what kind it was. Did she? Okay, something about where she goes in Iowa is a gravel road. Google hasn't been there. Well, okay. How do you drop a pin in Google Maps?
Okay, I can show that on the phone. This happens to be iPhone, but Google Maps is the same on both. So I can say, yes, I've been looking at Brazil. I want to go to Brazil sometime. Seems like we know somebody in Belém. So, and let's say that I zoom way in and I know that this person is right there. Just touch and hold. And it drops a pin. On the computer, you just click and hold. Click the left button and hold. And it drops a pin. And if you want to keep that, on the phone, you can tap on save and then put it in a list and give it a name. So touch and hold is the key to dropping a pin.
Now, okay, thank you. Fixing face group errors in Google Photos.
So if you see a face that doesn't belong, you can fix it. Video 817.
Okay.
If you use Google Photos, I'll bet you really like the way it finds people's faces. You can easily find all of the pictures of a particular person because Google Photos does all the work for you. But it's not always perfect. Sometimes you'll find a face that doesn't belong. I'm Chris Gould with Geeks On Tour, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. So here's my phone with Google Photos, and up at the top here, there's a memory that says Spotlight on Chris. Well, that's not me. If I open it up, all of the other photos are me, but that one is wrong. Now, if I go to where all faces are grouped, that's under Search, and I find me, here are all the photos, it says, but there are hundreds, maybe probably even thousands. Now, if I saw the picture here right away, how you would get rid of it, you can just select the picture, and you can even select multiple. If you find people who don't belong, then it's the three dots and remove photos. And it tries to learn and get better all the time. So it asks you, why? Is it not the person? Was it blurry or offensive? You can choose something. I'm not going to do that because those were me. but there's no way I can go through all of these thousands of pictures to find that one that was in the memory. So what do? Well, I can go to that memory, which is now all the way at the end because I opened it, tap it, and now it's going to start playing. I can long press on this one and that stops it playing. Now I tap the 3 dots and that brings up the info for that picture. I can tap on the little pencil to say edit people. That's her face. It's saying that that's me. No, it's not me. I can tap the little minus there. And if I want to add her to something, to another person, okay, but I don't. So I tap done. And now that person is not identified as me. Now the spotlight is still there. Also, by tapping the 3 dots, I see this hide and remove photo from this memory. It doesn't remove the photo from my library, just from this memory. Okay, so now that person is not identified as me and it's not in the spotlight on Chris.
All right.
So I know people have lots of issues with the people. You know, it is definitely not perfect, and there have been some problems in recent months with the Google people.
Problems with Google?
Yeah, but it's a wonderful feature, and you can manually remove people that don't belong.
Ron wants to know, does that apply to just one call, or is it any call to the link creating person?
To the link. Well, as long as the person who created the link does not delete the link, then that link still works. Anybody who has the link can click on it and get connected to the person
The original.
created it. Yeah,
Right.
I think. I mean, that's the way it looks to me. Like I say, we don't use that
it.
much. Yeah.
And there would be some sort of notification, I would expect, but yeah. Elizabeth, when I'm messaging with someone, is there a camera on, or there is a camera on top of the screen? We can talk with that too. So Duo is Google's messaging, one of their messaging systems out there, and it is very slick for making...
Oh, she's the one that says she uses Duo?
Yeah.
Yes, that is way cool. And Duo by Google is available on iPhones as well as on Android. You just have to tell your iPhone friends to get it, to download the free
It works
app.
on either. Both.
Yeah.
All of the above. More slides?
Okay. Well, we are now into the optional. What time? I think we better... Yeah.
Do what you want.
I don't think we have time. Search Google Calendar. You know, you can just use the search button and you can find appointments both past and future. And I use that all the time. Or what's that charge on your Apple Pay or your Google Pay? Now, this is a tip on our website. This is a relatively new feature for members only. You go to All Tips and search for tip 077 and you will get all this information, how to find out what's being charged to your Apple Pay or your Google Pay. And last, timeline. This is another one that was handled in a previous episode, 221. I had a feeling we wouldn't have enough time for all of this, but there's just so many cool things we can do. And we did all the questions,
I
right?
think so, yes.
Okay. So we hope that you subscribe to our newsletter to keep in touch.
And we have some questions for you. Did you learn something? I think I did. You can remove background from a photo without special software by using A, Google Photos, B, Apple Photos, or C, Samsung Gallery.
This is one that is
I heard.
not
I can
Apple,
show you pictures.
not
I don't
Google
have this for
Photos,
you.
but it is both Apple Photos and Samsung Gallery can do that.
All right. To make your own map, use Google.
My Maps.
Okay. True or false, FaceTime calls can only be used when everyone is on an Apple device.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Android devices can be included if you send them a link.
The easy way to make a video stop playing on your phone is A, open app, tap, pause, play, or B, force quit the app.
Well, the easy way is to force quit the app.
True or false, if Google misidentifies a face, you just have to live with it.
No, you can remove it.
For Google Maps to show directions superimposed on your real surroundings, you must be using A, walking directions live view, B, camera mode, or C, heads-up display.
A, walking directions with and live view. Now, I don't think we answered Tova's where is the multitasking button on her iPhone.
Oh, okay. Do you want to do that?
Sure. And it depends on your iPhone. This one is an iPhone 14 and it has no home button. To get to the multitasking or the recent apps, you swipe up from the bottom and kind of hesitate in the middle and let go. Now I'm in multitasking. If you have an iPhone with a physical home button, then you double press. The home button is the round, black on black. You can't see it, but there is a round button down here. Double press brings up your multitasking. So it depends on what model of iPhone you have as to how to bring up that recent apps list.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds great to me. I want to remind everyone of our Backstage Pass. It's an online meeting using Zoom right after this show. You get the link from geeksontour.com, or you click on the member login. After logging in, scroll down to see the pass. Chris also sends that out in a email that you probably got this morning if you are on our mailing list as a premium member. So, Chris, what's the web page that lists all of our YouTube shows?
GeeksOnTour.com, and the menu item is YouTube shows. You'll see all 262 episodes listed there.
Okay, and the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters.
GeeksOnTour.com, the menu item is blogs and news. All our monthly newsletters since 2007 are there.
Okay, and why do people pay nearly $60 to join Geeks on Tour?
Well, they can ask us any question in our Q&A. They get the Backstage Pass and other exclusive Zoom get-togethers, access to hundreds of Show Me videos, and the written notes for what does this button do. And some people join even though they don't take advantage of any of that, just to say thank you for everything we do for free. And we thank you.
We do thank you very much. Okay, geeksontour.com/join now. Become a member. Do that as soon as you can. Sign up for our free newsletters, geeksontour.com/news. Everybody, all of the members get all of the books in PDF format. A lot of other great benefits. Subscribe to this channel and like us on Facebook. That's it for this week. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.